I got henna done today, which is, I don't know if you can see. Can it show up? Anyway, I'm so happy about it. I feel like I feel the urge to get henna everywhere now because this is so pretty. I got it done for $7. That's why Vietnam is good. That's why Vietnam is good. But anyway, today I will be talking about the advantages of having AuDHD because I have AuDHD and obviously there's struggles that come with it, but I truly believe the struggles are because of society, the way society is, and not because of actually having this condition. Because there is a double empathy hypothesis where it's not that neurodivergent people have an issue, it's that there is a miscommunication between both neurotypes. And the social model of disability where it's there's research on this, there's research papers on this. I might try to find them and link it, or I might not, I don't know. But how that a person is disabled because the society does not have the things in place to actually keep that person well. I think I'll put research papers somewhere. Either that or not, I don't know. But anyway, advantages of having AuDHD. I wrote some notes so I don't get too off track, but we'll never know if I'll actually stick to the notes. So the first advantage, where did I even write this? Let's see. Not falling, first advantage of having ADHD is not falling into peer pressure. I feel like ever since I've grown up, they're always like, oh, don't fall into peer pressure, make sure you say no when people do but nobody can force me to do something I don't want to do. Even with like alcohol, like when I go out with friends or anything and they want me to drink, I'm like, I don't drink alcohol because I don't like it. It gives me a headache. I just don't like that feeling. So I don't drink. I'm fun on my own. But they would be like, I don't do anything I don't feel like doing. Not because I want to fit into a group. I just don't care. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it. And I think that also comes with just having AuDHD. You don't feel like that immense pressure that someone who's neurotypical might feel. Another advantage of having AuDHD is being able to see things for what they are. I feel like, especially when we go into spaces, for example, work or something, and you see like the system, it's not working, you see what's not working, and you don't really attach any emotion into it. It's simply just the actual thing. Like you separate things and people from events. Like, for example, if I'm talking about someone or talking about something someone did, I'm not going to talk about the person's character. I'm talking about that isolated event. But what I've noticed, especially in communicating with neurotypical people, is that they will take anything as an attack on themselves. You could be having an argument about like a historical event or something, and they'll think you're trying to insult their character by saying, oh, maybe this is a wrong fact or something. So not taking things personally and seeing things for what they are, I think it's really an advantage of being neurodivergent. And I think that also leads into like not noticing if someone's bullying you or if somebody's being rude, because really you're not thinking about people having bad intentions, because you yourself have good intentions. You yourself have a good sense of justice or a strong sense of justice, but then people might be trying to be mean to you or trying to pull you down, but because you're not noticing it, because you don't have bad intentions, it doesn't really affect you. I've like gone through so many stages in life where people have been mean to me and I wouldn't notice until either after the fact or until somebody else pointed out to me. But then the flip side to that is that those people get even more angry because you don't seem fazed by their disrespect. So it's a double-edged coin, but I think in more ways than none, it's helped me with like just being carefree and not caring about what people are doing or thinking about me, and just protecting me from like negative energy because I don't even notice it in the first place. So yeah. Another thing is being creative and spontaneous. And I think this is actually comes specifically with having AuDHD, is that the ADHD part of me just like, it's like go, go, go. Oh, this fails, something else. This fails, something else. This one's something else. But then the autism part is like very detail oriented and needs to predict things from as much as possible. So even whenever I make spontaneous decisions, I do an immense amount of research on every single thing I'm doing, just so that I can have like something secure for myself, like just so I can have something secure, something good. Because if I don't know what to expect, then I'm going to go insane, right? So I'm just like, okay, I made this decision very quickly. So I'm going to do all the research I can on this decision. For example, moving to a different country. I made a decision to move to a different country and I executed that within a month. But within that month, I've done extensive research on what I could do while I'm there, how to get there, how to apply for a visa process. Like every single thing I can think of researching, I have researched for that. And I think that is an advantage of having AuDHD. And another advantage, metacognition. I think about my thoughts. Like people would tell me stuff like, oh, you know, when you take mushrooms and stuff, I don't do drugs. But people will say, oh, when I take mushrooms, I start to think about life. I start to think about things that are deep. That is a regular Tuesday for me. Like I think about my thoughts all the time. I think something and I think about what I'm thinking. And I think about why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. I'm always thinking in some way. And obviously you can get a bit insane, but it's like, because of that, I feel like I know myself so much that no one can tell me what I don't know about myself internally. Like I literally, like if you tell me something about me, and I'm gonna tell you I know. It might not even be good, but I'll still tell you I know. And I might be working on it, I might not be working on it, I don't know. But because of that, I tend to know myself really well. Although it can have some disadvantages when you're doing regular talk therapy, because it's like the therapist can't tell you something you don't already know about yourself because you're always thinking about yourself on a regular Tuesday. Like even with feeling joy, this is what I think is that if you have autism, like there's this like neurodivergent joy that you feel. I really think when people take drugs, that's what they take drugs to feel exactly the way neurodivergent people feel. That intense joy. Like it's like you've taken ecstasy. Like people take drugs to feel that way. I don't need to take any drugs to feel that way. I feel that way on a regular night. Like if I just take some music in my headphones, turn the lights off, I feel so much joy. Like you actually feel the music, you feel the joy. And I don't think I would experience that amount of joy if I wasn't neurodivergent, if I didn't have ADHD autism. I wouldn't feel like that. And I'm actually thankful for that. Just that ability to feel. Yes, because you can feel things like more intensely, you can feel sadness a lot more intensely. But on the flip side, you can also feel joy a lot more intensely. It really depends on what you choose to focus on, I guess. And another thing is being open-minded. I find that a lot of people who are neurodivergent tend to be very open-minded because, normally we're not even like the way most people are. We see society for what it is. Like we can see past the unnecessary dialogue, the unnecessary social structures. We don't really respect authority because at the end of the day, we're all humans, right? And so because of that, like we tend to be more open-minded, which is why I'm really into manifestation and all of that stuff, like that esoteric. And I think it really is an advantage to be neurodivergent and then being into manifestation because you're somebody who's actually able to see past regular things. You're able to see past regular society. You're able to like separate yourself, let go of societal expectations because you don't meet them anyway. Like you're not like everybody else anyway. So it's easier for you to just let go of these things and be more into improving yourself, be more into just being you. And once I learned more about like my neurodivergent label, my life became so much easier, like so much easier. And I got better people around me. And I think obviously initially I had that like skill regression, especially with cooking, driving, all those things. It was bad. It was really, really bad. But after coming out of it, I decided to flip the script and say, okay, you know what? Maybe the cooking skill is lost because I meant to be someone who lives an easy life. I meant to have other people cook for me, have other people take care of me. And because I started thinking like that, I started becoming this person who is just able to order food, who's able to afford just going out to eat, ordering food more often, and not even caring about it. And so I just took whatever bad, or it might seem like bad things to other people, I took that and I transmuted that energy and turned it into something positive for myself. Even the driving thing, I decided I wanted to become someone who was driven around. And now I take either Ubers or something everywhere I go. I don't have to drive. And so I look at it as, the disadvantage as being pushed into an easier life for myself. That's what I see it as. And so, yeah, I think being neurodivergent, to me, it truly is a blessing. And I think a lot of, like, there's so much information online about how, like, there's so many struggles of being neurodivergent and not fitting into society. But I actually decided to surround myself with neurodivergent people. And I even saw this video of these YouTubers. I was talking about the advantages of having ADHD and autism, and I truly agree. Like, yes, there's struggles, but like there's so many things we can focus on. And honestly, if more neurodivergent people focused on their the advantages they have because they're neurodivergent, the world would be a better place. I think neurodivergent people have the power to change the world for the better. I think a lot of the famous people would think about, they're definitely on the spectrum somewhere. I'm not gonna diagnose anybody, but like, I feel like someone like Michael Jackson, he is not a neurotypical person. I don't think he's a neurotypical person. So I just think a lot of people in history, a lot of the great people in history were probably neurodivergent. It takes somebody who does not want to subscribe to society to change things. And a lot of neurodivergent people did not like subscribing to society. And so, yeah, I think if you're a neurodivergent person, and obviously there's definitely struggles, but you can rise above that. You can rise above these struggles once you realize that you actually are seeing things for what they are. You're not just sitting down, crossing your arm, oh, this is how society is and woe is me. And, because it's very easy to fall into that woe is me mentality. It's very easy to fall into that woe is me mindset. And for a bit of time, I was also in that mindset, like, oh, there's so many disadvantages and like, why is like, almost like, what's the point of life because of that? But like, I am the way I am. I am who I am. So why don't I use who I am to an advantage? I'm very good at analyzing things. I'm very good at spotting problems. I'm very good at seeing things for what they are. Why don't I use that to my advantage, right? I'm very good at coming up with creative ideas, coming up with crazy business ideas and actually following them. Why don't I use that to my advantage? Why should I try to live a normal life when I'm not like everybody else? Don't try to live a normal life when you're not like everybody else. And I think the biggest thing, the reason why a lot of us neurodivergent people struggle as much is because we're trying to live a normal life, because we're trying to live like everybody else, but we're not. We're not. And when we start trying to, and when we start ignoring social rules, ignoring all those things, I think it would truly become better for us. Life will become better for us. And we might be able to even accomplish a lot more things than we think we can. And so, yeah, I mean, definitely there's things you have to take into account, because we're so perceptive, we get overstimulated easily. Wear your headphones. Learn how to be a neurodivergent person in this world. And honestly, I think you can use the fact that you're neurodivergent to your advantage. I had to go through a journey of learning how to accommodate myself. And that has truly, truly helped me to become somebody who's more optimistic about life and to do the things I'm doing right now. I think I might make a video on how to recover from that skill regression and that burnout you feel once you find out that you've been masking your whole life, that you've been neurodivergent, all that stuff. I think I'm going to do some sort of video about it. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I have no idea what this video looks like, to be honest, but it is what it is. Yeah. Subscribe and like because you'd like to see me again. Yeah, bye. Anyways, is my camera?